Starting.
This is the live broadcast.
Yeah, so this is going out.
Cool.
Are we going?
Yeah, we just started.
Hey everybody, this is Matt. We're at Texas Toast Guitars. It is Friday the 18th, and as promised, my buddy Mike Learn is here, and he is working on our super amazing, awesome scrapwood guitar. But at this point, there's so little scrap anything left because now it's going to have the most awesome finish you have ever seen since 1986. This is you remember in the last video we showed you guys what the guitar looked like with the OD on it, and Mike is just starting the it's getting like a camo plain motif. Yes.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, this is it's gonna be based off of a British Spitfire, and you know, they had like a two-tone coloration on those, and you know, and there are so many different variations. You go through pictures and all these historical stuff. One, most of it's in black and white.
Black and white, yeah.
You know, so you do have people who remember, you know, they were there, and the model kits. You get a lot of references from like Monogram and Revell and all sorts of different model kits out there, and have really good photography. But yeah, so we're doing a little kind of our own little variation on RAF.
It's going to be rad. So this is the original paint, and this Mike just what you saw him doing there was removing some of the stencils, and he did a fog kind of thing, is what you called it. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of fogged in the color with the airbrush. I'm going to get a little bit more of that color and put it in there. We'll see a spot. I'm going to touch it up.
So we are actually in the middle of filming a companion video to go with the live one, and where we'll go in depth. But we wanted to do a couple 3 live things today to kind of give you an idea of what's going on with the with this guitar project, because I'm really excited about it. I know Chris is really excited, but more than anything, Mike is so thrilled to be here.
Yes, I was excited.
So happy to see us.
So happy to see us.
I was, and I didn't have to do a Zumba class to get in. So
no, you get to do Zumba.
Yeah, later on if you stay late enough. Although Friday night they don't.
Sometimes they don't Zumba.
Yeah. Friday nights we're going out and dancing other places, I guess.
Yep.
So. And done. The end.
Oh, I forgot about the little guy there. I can hide him.
Mike, a viewer asked the question: have you ever painted a guitar for Phil Collins from Def Leppard?
Yeah. Yes.
There you go.
Doesn't work for Phil. He's a good dude.
You've actually built whole guitars for him, yes?
No, I actually didn't build whole guitars for him. A friend of mine built whole guitars for him that I painted for him as well.
Okay.
C.R. Alsip guitars.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
He has such a tight relationship with Jackson that I would be muddying the waters.
Well, I didn't know, like if you had done any. I knew you did boatloads of paint work for them. So.
There.
Yeah.
Now it's on a tripod, so nobody has to put up with my shaky hand.
Are you getting some? Hey, Chris, your hands are shaky.
No.
What do you got?
I figure that's happening. I'm making myself sick because I'm watching Mike and I'm also trying to film. Yeah, I can't do both. So.
All right.
So I'm gonna sit where Mike will be sitting, and this will all be.
There you go.
Yeah. And it'll be done before we know it.
Use that as your still. Yeah.
Matt's stunt doubling for me.
What other kind of cool like airplane shit is this gonna get, Mike?
That's gonna have like the rivets and kind of overlapping panels, and then
cool.
We'll do some bullet holes. We'll do some dents and some abrasion. We'll make it look like leading edges of panels where if the plane was moving forward in that direction, the leading edges will have abrasion and basically almost be like sandblasted.
Oh wow!
On the edges, so we remove some of the color along those edges, and there's a lot of little shit like that.
You said you got some $100 tricks.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing maybe the $79.99 tricks.
Well, everybody wants to learn the trick. No one wants to learn the trade. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a bunch of just
And there's some numbers that are going to go on here, identifying numbers.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, the RAF, and then the numbers be going right through here. We're doing the typical Spitfire mouth right through here.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, and then the bullet holes, rivets, some weathering, and cheap tricks.
Cheap thrills.
Cheap thrills.
Sounds great, man. Yeah. I'm excited.
Yes.
It already looks cool with just with that on there. That's neat shit.
Yeah, it's really simple. The key to doing this stuff is not like trying to get like massive edges. Like feel that edge.
Yeah, there's no edge.
There's no edge. So I mean, when you're doing finishes, and you're trying not to put all the material like BC Rich and Charvel and Fender, the polyester finishes that are a quarter of an inch thick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always like to try to keep the finishes as no topography on them as much as possible. I try to anyways. Sometimes you just can't avoid it.
Yeah. Well, guys, if you have any questions for Mike or for me, although I'm not going to be able to answer any of them, but we're going to do a few of these live things. If you have any questions for Mike, leave them in the thing. We might not get to him at that live thing. We might have to get to him in the next live thing. Is that cool? Because Mike's only here for today, and we're already slowing him way down.
And he's almost out of beer already, so.
And it's only 9 or 11 or whatever time it is. So, yeah. Is there anything right yet that anyone has?
No, everybody's like, I'm not going to get a whole lot done at work today, am I?
Nope, you're not going to get a whole lot done at work today. So, well, all right. So what's next?
All right, well, I'm going to peel off this little panel here off my pre-cut.
You want to get that in the thing?
Yeah.
So before Mike came over today, he did a bunch of plotting on and stenciling, and that is what he's working with today. Yes.
Right. Yeah. So what I did was I drew up. It's probably difficult to see these things. Got anything dusty? Here.
We got lots of dust. Oh, cool. That's the mouth thing?
Yeah, this is the mouth here. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be peeling out this whole area right here and saving this piece. And then I'll be putting that back in. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to do the perimeter around the edge of the mask, or the edge of the mouth here. And we're actually going to spray that white first. And that will allow us to put this back in, kind of like re-register it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so whenever I do these things, I don't like pre-weed them out because there's so many different ways you can attack this project mechanically with a masking system.
You might need to use the stuff that's already weeded.
Yeah, try to save it if you're just going to put it in there and throw it out. I did bring an extra one, and then I just put it down again on the backing paper and just to put it there. So now this one's ready to transfer over. And yeah, put some transfer tape on that. Yeah, so these guitars are very popular. I mean, I get a lot of requests for these, and what's really cool is lately some of the customers I have had relatives who actually were in World War II and stuff like that.
Have you really?
Yeah, and I actually got to do stuff, tributes to the planes they were on.
Oh, that's cool.
That tough naval boats, that type of thing. Tanks.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's kind of neat because the history of this stuff is out there. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of documented books. There's a whole sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of great stuff on TV these days. World War II in high definition.
Yeah.
I like see, and then I'll do a screen capture or something. And
you use that as inspiration.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, that stuff is out there, and there's not too many of these things flying around in the air these days.
In fact, I saw recently one of the B-17s that was in service, or you could fly around and crashed recently.
Yeah, I think
Everybody
that was
died.
709 or something like that. I can't remember which one, but yeah.
Really
East Coast, some of the tourists that were paying to be. That's terribly tragic. I'm sure that's going to affect.
I would still do it. I would still go on a B-17. I know it's expensive, so yeah, I would still do it though.
I had a chance to do one.
Yeah.
When I was living in Arizona, the Confederate Air Force. Now it's the Commemorative Air Force.
Oh, okay.
They have one down there called the Sentimental Journey.
Yeah.
B-17, and I had a chance to go up because I was doing some artwork for those guys.
Cool.
And I passed up on it. I didn't do it, man. I didn't want to get up that early the next day. I totally didn't go. But I kind of regret it. But there's
one that flies out of Jeffco Airport, and I keep wanting to do it. And my grandfather was on a B-17, and I just haven't done it yet. I would, but I haven't. So anyway.
Yeah, my uncle was a belly gunner on one. And he got
That's
that job.
That's a fun job.
Because he fit in
he was short enough to get in the thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So first thing we're going to do, get a rough position here. I'm going to go ahead and take the eyeball out. And put that off to the side too. Just
So everyone, you can see this number here is written in a couple different places, 16241. That is actually Sergeant Bishop's Little Bird helicopter number from when he was in Somalia. Remember that Black Hawk Down movie? John was actually there. So anyway, he can give you more information about that if anyone has any questions. But
Oh, that's really cool, man. So he's gonna end up buying this guitar then?
I don't think so. I think John has actual pictures of him in a helicopter with those numbers. I don't think he wants a guitar with those numbers on it. But,
Gotcha.
But we wanted to
Right.
to give him a
Props.
serial number shout out there
Right on.
because yeah.
Cool. All right, so now I'm going to take off this transfer tape. And I'm just going to pull that back. And then we're going to use some, I use this company, and anybody who wants to paint or even mess around with anything that has to do with masking tape, they absolutely have to be using this product. I can't tell you how much this stuff has meant to me. It's just amazing. As something that doesn't leave tape residue, something that you can see through and work while you're working on it. You can see through this masking tape. It's just amazing stuff. They make it in all sorts of different widths.
Is this the stuff that you were hipping me to?
Yeah, this is the FBS.
FBS,
Finding
yeah.
Better Solutions out of Vancouver, Canada, BC. Yeah.
Okay.
Vancouver, British Columbia. And so they have this other stuff here. It's really cool too. This is actually
Oh wow,
pre-taped masking paper.
that's cool.
It is. It's really cool because you used to have to carry around those machines and stuff all the time, before. But now they got this, and it works out pretty good. So, but yeah, FBS, killer stuff.
If you follow FBS on their Facebook page, you will see all of the raddest motorcycle paint jobs and lowrider paint jobs and just the coolest ass shit. Yeah.
A lot of great artists involved with their product and developing it and stuff like that, and we use it all for all the classes we teach. And they also make a mask that goes through the plotter that's very similar to this stuff here, this yellow material. And I could have used that for this, but I had this loaded up on my machine, so I decided to go ahead and just use that. But really good product. I can't say enough about it. Anybody who's messing around with taping off designs, you don't get any tape residue left behind. It doesn't want to attack your paint. It's just, so many little subtle things like that when you're doing this stuff. As long as I've been doing, you run across, and it's just like, every now and then one of them really blows you away.
Sure. That's saying something then.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and end this one.
All right.
So Mike can get down to business.
Yep.
And we'll pick up after a while where you guys can see what Mike has done. And remember that I'm doing a companion video that has more of this stuff in it. And so.
Why don't we just let it run? People are watching.
Oh, well, all right. Well, why don't we just let it run?
We don't have to talk.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you might want to mention too, Matt. You're talking about maybe doing this type of class down here with Texas Toast.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start doing that. So one of the things that when I got this space, I actually called Mike and I'm like, dude, I'm really scared. I have to get a space. And Mike goes, you know what? Everything's gonna be fine. Just keep your head down and work hard, and everything will be cool. And he also said there's been some stuff that he might want to do paint class wise, and I'm like, hey, if I got a commercial space, maybe we could do a paint class there. And that was me basically trying to talk Mike into that. But we were talking a little bit more about it since then, and we thought, wouldn't it be cool to offer this as a class, paint a super awesome guitar, because you kind of do some of that stuff now, right?
Yeah.
But it's mostly like build a kit guitar thing, and we were thinking, what could we do if just build the body, and then you can buy a neck from us, or you can buy a neck from somebody else, and you can make something awesome like that. So how long? Or let me ask you this: if we were to do a class like that, where if you started with a body that was to the same level of doneness as this, how long would the class need to be?
Oh, probably 2 to 3 days. I think 3 days would be with the clear coat and giving it time to dry.
Okay.
We're gonna buff it, or do you want to do like
I was thinking
matte
like
finish?
I was thinking we could actually apply the clear coat later. If you guys have
Right.
any ideas about like how you'd want to see that done,
Mm-hmm.
because I know getting away for a week or for it's not just the cost of the class, it's the cost of seemingly everything else
Yes.
that goes along with it. And yeah, we would really like to have something that where you guys could come out to the class, you could learn how to do a bitch and airbrush thing like that. I mean, you do all kinds of airbrush stencils, not just this plain.
Yeah,
one,
no,
right?
we have a whole bunch of
And when I
different
say
designs.
plain, I don't mean
Right.
non-distinguished.
Sure.
I mean aeroplane.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I
An E, not an
do
I.
Yeah.
a lot of Warbird stuff. I think that one thing that would work with this particular class, and I've done it with the art circus as well, is rather than buffing the urethane, is if we can keep the edges down. That's the thing. That's the key to having a nice flat finish
Okay.
on this particular design. But you could sand down the urethane with like 800 grit, and I tell you what, man, I've used a lot of matte finishes throughout the years,
Yeah.
and once they start polishing up, you scratch them, they're done.
Yeah, it
They're
doesn't
done.
look cool. Yeah, yeah.
But with the sanded urethane,
Okay.
you can always go back in and scotch bright it down. It starts
Yeah.
to buff out. You scratch it, sand it out, and
Okay.
move on. So, and it looks great.
So that's something that we would like to offer to you guys. If anyone watching right now or anyone watching in the future is interested in a class like this, as we go out through the course of the day, let me know, and we'll see if we can't put something together with Mike and have like a really neat class, and you guys can come to the shop and learn how to do this with Mike Learn.
Mm-hmm. we got a request for a pinstriping class too.
We could do that. Well, we talked about
Which
that
I'd
already.
be-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be into that. Too,
Yeah, we
so.
talked about doing maybe rather than an airbrush class, we could do like a distressed hot rod kind of theme,
Rat
where
rod,
we kind of make it
that'd be
look
neat.
like it's rusty and kind of do that, and then some pinstriping. We'll teach you some basic pinstriping, but be honest, to teach somebody pinstriping in a two-day format, and to expect the results that they're gonna
That they
it's
want,
really
yeah.
difficult because.
Could they practice on Chris's truck?
They could practice on Chris's truck, and certainly the sidewalk and the and the Zumba glass next door.
Yes, Zumba.
They would probably enjoy pinstripe penises all over their windows, but yeah, I don't know how well that would work out. But anyways, yeah, I think if we did like the hot rod class, or we did like a distressed type of thing, that might work out, and that way, I mean, who wants a shiny distressed hot rod? That's why the sanded finishes
It's cool.
work
yeah.
so nice, and you can always get them the next day. We could get clear that we could have like that the Tamco production clear that dries in like 2 hours. I've sanded that stuff in 2.5 hours
Wow.
and then buffed it.
Really?
I couldn't believe it. I just like when somebody tells you it does something, I was like, all right, let's see for myself, But yeah, incredibly well. In fact, I've even let that stuff set up like a day or so, and it started to get a little too hard to buff. But we could do the Tamco clear on there with the speed clear, and probably still get everybody out of here in 3 days.
That'd be cool.
I think that's
man.
more than enough.
Yeah.
Maybe even on a weekend with long
Maybe a long
ass
weekend.
days.
Yeah, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm gonna take this color, I'm gonna wash it out of here, and then I'm gonna put some white in there. Do the same thing. And I'm using urethanes, so if you wanted to do this at home, you could use water-based paints for the artwork. I wouldn't suggest myself, with the results that I've had and the luck that I've had, using water-based for the color coat necessarily. I don't know what it is in particular, but the quick application of material and just trying to get things done in a normal fashion that I do when I'm working with urethane, I just can't reproduce with the waterborne stuff yet.
Yeah.
So, but for some of the artwork, it's okay. If you're working aside, you don't have any options. Another nice thing is about some of the smaller waterborne kits. Createx sells that stuff in prepackaged kits, 3-ounce bottles.
Oh, cool.
So you can get a myriad of colors. You know
So
what I
you're
mean?
not, you don't have to spend $80 for one color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And even House of Color, I think at Coast Airbrush, they will do airbrush urethane kits for you. And there's another company out there called Aspire. They're out of the UK. They have smaller urethane kits as well. And I think that's the biggest obstacle for people want to use urethane is they don't know where to get the stuff.
Where do you actually buy that
yeah.
stuff? Yeah.
Rather than going down to that local automotive store and buying a pint of color that, you know.
Yeah, which is can be really, really cost prohibitive.
Yeah,
Okay.
and for the amount of color that actually takes to do this paint job, I bet you I'm using less than an eighth of an ounce.
For total?
The whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really small
Yeah.
amount that goes on. Well, you saw how much. I mean, I didn't even use one whole full cup on.
Yeah,
this thing
it was pretty
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
So
now-
what's the next color, Mike? The
next
white?
color is white, and this is going to be a foundation color. I should probably, you know what? I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna go ahead and put this other mask on as well because it's going to utilize white also. And so I'm gonna come over here, put a little transfer tape on.
Filming and not just watch.
Well, that's the trickiest part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have to watch through the viewfinder, not separately. A lot of shots of the towel there for a second.
Hey, I'm getting tired of watching the towel.
Yeah. So is that a special vinyl?
This is actually Avery Films, and this is a material that's called paint mask, and it's not as heavy. It's not as heavy as far as the tack on it. So it's a little thicker. Doesn't stretch. Like if you like normal like 2 mil vinyl, you put it down on the car and you try getting it off, it usually stretches. You'll never get it back. This stuff here is nice because you can put it down on the surface, pick it up, use it, put it back, and it retains its shape for the most part because of the thickness. The downside of it is sometimes you lock pieces of vinyl in your paint job and you don't realize it until you're buffing. So I'm just going to take off the TT.
So what's your website, Mike?
MikeLearn.com. Yeah, I transferred everything over. It just had Learn Guitars, Learn Airbrush, and now it's just Mike Learn Studios and with all the different stuff that I do. I try to just put it all under one roof. It's just, why update 3 websites when, you just want to hit one?
And Mike normally does a lot on Facebook too, so there's usually always, I saw something yesterday that you were doing a cool, awesome paint job for a guy that.
Yeah.
So if you're not watching or following Mike on Facebook or Instagram, you should do that too. So. Yeah,
Instagram, it's pretty easy. I got to get more active on Instagram. If you go to my personal page, it's always maxed out with 5,000 people. But just follow me there or follow my links on the side of the page to my Learn Guitars and Learn Airbrush page. And even that, I find, geez, I got to update all 3 of these freaking pages, and I hate it.
Yeah.
I can't stand Facebook. I hate it.
I don't even know what Facebook is for.
It's like being trapped.
But like you and I have talked about so many times, like the whole notion of Facebook is its own internet because it's so fast and easy to update and
Yeah, it's like its own cosmic world inside of a larger cosmic world.
It is, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna take this. These things are just roughly sized based upon my previous experience with a couple of other body shapes that I used. And one thing nice about having that plotter, obviously, is you can resize them on the fly, you know what I mean? So I'm just gonna peel this stuff back, put it aside here for now. And see what I can get away with as far as placement on this. Now, one thing that's kind of nice, maybe we should do this so everybody can see it. Maybe like a little spacer so I can get this completely
You need something
parallel.
to go under
Yeah,
here.
like maybe that roll of tape there. Yeah, there we go. Put that sideways under there. There we go. Oh, yeah. There we go. So I'm just changing the orientation so it's closer to being horizontal. So what I'm going to do now is find a good spot for this. And peel this back a little bit. Cut it off. So isn't that kind of screwed up? You can't play music while you're filming live videos.
Oh yeah, unless it's your
it's your
own music.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the bummer part.
We might have to subject them to some Hawk Attack and some Lords of Distortion.
Oh man, everybody loves Lords of Distortion. Nobody loves Hawk Attack. Although it's just about time for the Hawk Attack Christmas album to make an appearance again.
Oh, thank God.
The greatest Christmas record of all time.
There's Santa Claus, there's Mrs. Claus, there's stockings, the things that you generally look forward to.
There's really that's right. The It's a Wonderful Life is on TV all the time. And the Hawk Attack Christmas CD is available.
It's right up there with getting your eye put out. with a BB, right?
Yeah, that's right. Few things compare, to the Hawk Attack Christmas album.
I love that album, man. Oh, that's so funny.
It's so awful.
My wife, I played it for her. Her eyes rolled back into her forehead. Yeah, she's like, "Oh my God,
these guys are idiots."
Nah, she wouldn't say that. She could
think it.
She knows it. I mean. But she lives with one, so.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that kooky musician, artist, guitar dweebs are nothing new.
Yeah, no shocker.
I don't know if Mrs. Toast is watching right now, but if she is, she would absolutely agree with all of that. All this and more.
Yeah, so I'm just going to mask this off right now, and then we're going to go ahead and spray that white.
Cool.
We'll take it outside, right over to the door again, because it'll probably go on a little heavier than this last stuff went on. So I'm just going to put this aside, get my big gun filled up with the white. Now I use a couple different airbrushes for different jobs. So like I'll have this is a very inexpensive airbrush. This, I don't even know what model it is. I frankly don't even remember when I got this thing, but it's a pretty interesting airbrush. It holds thicker paint, so it'll cover real quick. I have a detail brush here, and then I also have the Iwata. This is kind of just a generic Eclipse here that I tuned up. Performs really well. You don't need a whole lot of. You don't need a $700 airbrush to do what we're gonna do. Is I guess what I'm getting to. You could probably get away with a good $100 airbrush, and be fine.
How much was your Harbor Freight airbrush?
Yeah, we were talking about the next time we do this, we want to film you doing it with me doing it right next to you.
But you won't be able to see what Chris is doing, but everybody else will.
Yeah, and I'll be able to see what you're doing, but I won't be able to ask any questions. I'll just have to follow along. And we'll see how bad it turns out with my $30 Harbor Freight airbrush or whatever it cost me. Yeah.
We could do like a GoPro helmet cam.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Chris cam.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'd be
The only thing I haven't been able to figure out with the GoPro though is how to do a live feed on the Facebook with it.
I have a 360 camera that I think is supposed to be able to do live stuff on.
Yeah, we could probably use that.
Yeah.
But it would be really funny.
Yeah, I have actually.
I'm not any good at this stuff.
We actually took a GoPro on another airbrush I have. It has a bottom feed, and I took a GoPro and I mounted it right on the tip of my airbrush while I was working, and we did it for like 2 minutes, and somebody was watching the feed in the offices, and they said they started to get faint and almost passed out because they were like,
because it was so herky.
Yeah, it was really jerky, man. And I didn't think about that, but it was interesting. I mean, what better way to put? I mean, your point perspective of you're right on what's actually happening with it. But it was pretty unnerving. All right, let's get this.
All right. Man, everybody gets to see all the cool stuff in the shop too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because we're panning all over the place.
If we get that 360 cam going, we could actually have a bunch of stuff.
We could put it right in the middle of the room. And,
Good. Just have it going all the time.
People could watch us eat lunch. Gary wants to know what is Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight is the store that sells all the cheap tools.
Yes.
Any cheap, anything you need cheap is Harbor Freight.
That's Harbor Freight.
That's Harbor Freight.
It gets it. Some of it gets you by in a pinch. Other stuff pinches you in the ass as soon as you get out the door with it. But pretty decent, you know.
Yeah.
For whatever. I don't know if I would go and buy a whole lot of heavy equipment there, but the little stuff.
If it only has to work one time, Harbor Freight seems like your buddy.
Yeah,
but
for
you really gotta be honest with yourself about whether or not it has to work more than
right.
once.
Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, Harbor Freight's also upping their game on tools. They have a whole line of better stuff now too.
Yeah, I've seen that. They got their own kind of like brand name.
Yeah, I think it's Bauer or something like that.
Yeah, it's not Husky or something or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah. So this stuff again, I'm not worrying about getting completely opaque on here because it's going to be part of the whole thing when it's weathered. You know, it's going to have a certain look to it.
Mm-hmm.
So. All right, so we're just going to let that set for a couple of minutes, let it dry. This stuff does dry really quick. And if you're using, you know, urethanes, you know, it's always good to use a respirator if you don't have good air source. Fortunately, we're blowing it in on the Zumba class next door.
They're done.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. All right. So that's it, man. All right, so we're gonna leave all this masked up. We're leaving it all masked up. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to take the shark's mouth that we previously.
Oh shit!
Man down, man down. Oh no! Put a hole in my airbrush.
Uh-oh.
I think if we keep it like that.
Well, hold on, let's.
The airbrush hose.
We might need to repair it.
We might.
Let's valve it off and then. Because once this bad bitch kicks on, it'll be
Noisy as fuck.
Do we have another hose, Chris?
Well, it's not his. It's this hose.
Not here. It's an airbrush hose.
This
We have
hose.
one at your house.
This one's right here. Let's try this. Might be able to get it off that compression fitting.
We've
Are
got
you filming this too?
Yeah, it's
Well, it's live, baby.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if we can get this separated. Then we can cut this hose back, put
Okay.
this cap back on, and force it on there. If not, we're
We're going to Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
We got a couple at your house.
Do we?
Yeah.
I don't think this is. I think we're gonna have to almost like pry this up.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
What tools do you need? Mike?
Flathead screwdriver. Let's try that.
That guy. Hey, hey. We'll just cut it back.
Yep. Alrighty. Airbrush repair 101 here.
Uh-huh.
And he's just the air leaking out of his.
Yeah. So now we gotta take this, push this back on. I don't know if we get pliers now.
Pliers?
Yeah.
Got the regular kind too, Mike, if you want.
Yeah, this might work. Maybe not. Vice.
We have a vise.
You got the
We have many vices.
Is it
That one work?
is it unplugged? Let's do this. Take this, unplug this. Let's take this over to the vise and we'll hammer this right in. Put this in the vise and go. Boop.
Okay, there's one over here.
Yeah, it's another problem with airbrush hoses. One of these days they're gonna invent a hoseless airbrush.
Sure,
Yeah.
for hosers.
This is riveting.
Let's try it.
Let's see what we got.
That's the problem with these live things is that when
Yeah.
shit goes
yeah.
wrong, then yeah.
That was pretty quick.
Hey, we just need to make sure that doesn't happen again.
Thank you, Simon. We could run, we got that orange hose too, we could run a longer extension over here if you want, rather than.
Oh, busted that too. Wait, where's it? I took a major hit.
Oh shit.
I'm leaking out of that now.
Did you break
We
the,
can, what's it? Can you control the air pressure on this?
We can regulate this a little bit,
Let's do
yeah.
that then. Man down.
have to turn it way down and.
What do you need, Mike?
30. A little more.
Hold on.
Okay, we're getting some line loss.
We're at 40 now.
All right.
That's 40 there, who knows what it
Right.
is here, you probably have to turn it up. 'Cause
Okay,
the-
Yeah.
let's try
the
that. You
line.
wanna?
That's good.
Okay.
All right, that's fine. All right, so now we'll clean that.
So that's, you know, sometimes exciting things like that happen and it keeps you from having to watch paint dry.
Well, there was lots of talk of, that's what we're doing, is watching paint dry.
Yeah.
Because that's all I focused on.
Right, well, that's good. That's,
Oh.
that's the primary thing that painters do
So,
best.
Yeah.
Watching paint dry, drinking.
And
Corkscrews.
drinking.
Yeah, there's been several comments that Matt doesn't have a beer.
Yes.
You know, I'm not really going to be using any power tools today, so.
Well, yeah, and everybody, and I keep trying to emphasize that just because we drink beer on the
At 5 o'clock,
5
on
o'clock on
Sunday doesn't
Sunday
mean
doesn't
we
mean-
drink beer all the time.
at
Right.
11 o'clock in the morning on Sunday.
Hey, does anybody know who won the Broncos game last night?
I don't. Was there a sports ball game
Yeah,
last
there was
night?
a sports ball game. It was a good one too.
Was it?
No.
Oh, because I turned it off after halftime.
Yeah.
It was like 26-6 or something.
Yeah, I think it was 30-6 was the final score. So,
Oh boy.
yeah, Kansas City's quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, I seen that. That's when I turned it off. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I started watching it and then I watched other stuff.
All my teams are sucking this year.
That's why I don't have any teams anymore. I get too involved in it.
All right, we're gonna give this guy another tooth here. Now, see, if you had to cut all this out
On the
on the guitar
Yeah, that
by
would
hand,
suck.
and you had to re-register stuff,
Yeah.
like changing colors, you'd have a lot of issues with your paint job. There's just things that you just can't, or you don't want to have to deal with when you're doing this stuff. And when you're first starting out, that's the only way you know how to do this is with masking tape or masking and hand cutting it. But man, I tell you, once I started doing all this stuff pre-cut on masking, it just saves so much time, duplication. I started doing it for a lot of different reasons, but the function of cutting on that surface, man, it's just forget about it, man. You just it takes an awful skill hand. That's the nice thing about this stuff, though. It's so thin, you can see through it.
So everyone who's watching the live thing, one of the things that Mike has talked about doing is trying to find someone to maybe sell these stencils for him or selling them himself. We don't know, right, Mike?
Yeah, I have a couple people that I would probably sell them through, and it just depends on what the demand is for the stuff. I would probably try to sell some myself even.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know how busy I would be fulfilling orders.
Yeah, who knows?
You know,
Yeah.
but if I only had to spend 4 hours a week to fulfilling orders, and it was worth it, I could probably swing that.
Okay.
You know, but I've got thousands of these designs. I mean, I've got horror movies.
Cool.
I've got all sorts of plain stuff. I got tons of retro.
Brett wants
80s.
Cheech and Elvira.
Cheech and Elvira.
Yeah.
We could do
No,
that.
no
Guitar.
Chong for some
Yeah,
reason.
right.
Yeah, I don't know why no Chong.
I don't blame him, man.
And then Chong and Dracula on the next one, right?
That's right, the
Yeah.
Wolfman.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man. That sounds like a plan.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's on the bass that you get to play.
Yeah.
So the next thing we're gonna do now is we're kind of setting up for some registration here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in here. I'm gonna get it close. And press that back down. Yeah. You can see it's pretty low tack mask. All right. And the first thing we're gonna spray red next. Did I say red next?
Red next.
Red next. I saw some of them.
Oh, I just came from Pennsylvania.
Were you in Pennsylvania or
yeah.
Pennsyltucky?
Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. There was a lot of rednecks flying around there. And this one we're just gonna take this little guy, put it in here, protect the white of the eye. All right, that's gonna go red. That's gonna go red. And maybe we'll do some red on there. Give him a red eye too. All right, so I'm gonna mix up some red.
I'm kind of curious, like, what people thought this was going to be like. You know, like, what did people expect this?
Yeah, I don't know. And Mike's from Pennsylvania, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you're allowed to say that stuff about Pennsylvania?
I am.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, hey, I'm from Pennsylvania. Yeah, okay.
I'm from Erie, PA. Harbor Creek Township.
There you go.
Population 12,000 maybe.
Wow.
I got home and I didn't do any fishing. That's one thing I didn't get in.
Was it? What was it? What was it like there?
It was beautiful.
Yeah?
It was,
That's cool.
You guys were getting snow. It was like 80 degrees back there, you know? All right.
You can see some action now?
Yeah, man.
All right.
We're going in. I'm just going to kind of keep this controlled so I don't blow red all over my white numbers. And this is a real cheap airbrush. I mean, this is probably equivalent to a Harbor Freight airbrush. Nothing fancy.
No, it doesn't spit.
Well, it does if you don't, you know, if you don't mix your paint. Most of the time when an airbrush is spitting, it tells you your paint's not quite ready for the airbrush. Because they're really simple machines.
Yeah. I think those in general are pretty simple.
Mm-hmm.
You ever seen the video of the guy painting out of a plastic cup with a straw?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Did you ever see the guy using a spray gun trying to get his wife to blow in the other end of the hose so the spray gun worked? You never see that one?
No, I've never seen that
Oh,
one.
it's out there. Yeah, some guy he was
Yeah.
playing a trick on his wife or something, and you know everybody's just laughing at her. She's like, "Rah," you know.
Okay. Nice.
Anyways, so yeah, we'll let that dry. This stuff here only takes I don't know, maybe 5 minutes max this time of year. Then we're gonna replace, and we're gonna keep moving on with colors. We're gonna do a little black shading in here. We're gonna do a little black outline around this. We're gonna go blue and then yellow, and
Okay.
then we'll do some of the Nazi marks, and we'll start doing all the riveting and all that shit.
That's
So-
important to note for those people who get bummed out about Nazi symbolism, is that back in World War II, they would use iron crosses and swastikas and Japanese flags to indicate the Axis planes that they shot down.
Right.
So this is not so for all those people who don't like that stuff, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
but this is there's some historical significance here, and if you don't like it, well, I don't know what to tell you.
We'll be doing pink
fluffy bunnies.
Yeah, penguins and unicorns next time we
Yeah.
do this. But yeah, it's funny because with the times that I've done this stuff on guitars, there's been instances when somebody over at Jackson Guitars would say, "Oh, I don't know, we shouldn't have swastikas on it." But then they've got a whole run of Warren D. Martinis with the Japanese Rising Sun.
Yeah.
The bastards come over and killed 4,000 Americans in
Yeah.
Pearl Harbor, started a loss of 50,000 Americans
Sure.
throughout, the Pacific, whatever, wherever they're trying to fight the Japs.
Yeah.
But no problem with that.
Oh, I don't know if you can say Japs anymore.
Right,
either.
right.
I'm not
Can't
sure.
say-
Yeah, I don't
right.
know. Yeah. I know.
Jeez. Can't even say Oriental now, can you?
No,
that's
unless you're talking about a rug. I
What
don't
is the
think-
proper way to describe that?
I
then?
believe
Asian?
It may be
Asian?
Japanese. I don't know.
Asian.
Yeah, I'm
You can
not
say Asian, and then you
Asian?
can, wherever they're actually from.
Okay.
Because it's, not all the same.
There's so many. Yeah, there's so many things. You
Well,
gotta-
obviously they didn't have a PC department in the Army, Air Force, or Marines.
No, they do.
You know.
They do now.
Right, what they do. Oh,
They
they're
do.
all over that now. In fact, I do some work for some guys down at Fort Carson.
Yeah.
I won't say exactly what I'm doing for them in some
Okay.
cases.
Yeah.
But some of
Best to not tell us.
Some of the stuff I do like helmets for them.
Yeah.
But even that, I was just talking to one of the staff sergeants who was up in my shop 2 weeks ago, and he said that they don't even do any more of that classic pinup artwork on
Oh,
the sides
really?
of stuff. Yeah, they stopped all that. Somebody got offended, and none of that.
I
None
know
of
that the
shit.
Marine Corps Scout Snipers are not to use the abbreviation for Scout Sniper on tattoos and things anymore, because of the whole SS thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right.
I don't know, but anyway, I think they still do it.
Yeah, well, they should.
Because if you're a Scout Sniper, I don't think you really care what.
Right.
Yeah. Some broke dick. Yeah. Well, anyway. Anyhow.
All right, so I get this stuff dried out now. A little bit of historical perspective
Yep.
by Matt and
That's
Mike.
right.
Right, so see, I always keep these things off to the side. Don't throw them away when you're doing this. Always kind of hold on to them. Kind of nice to hold on and just not have to recut a bunch of mass, especially when your plotter isn't here. So I'm going to get that line in there. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. Because I'll tell you what, these guys weren't painting them perfect back in the day
No.
either, Actually, you know what I'm going to do here? No, I'm going to go ahead and spray this. I'm going to spray that blue. Put this off to the side. I'm going to save that. And then I'm going to break my rules, but this is only because I left another option here. I'm going to put
That's
this.
the white peeled off. I saw that spot. That's the humbucker hole.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the pickup route.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not paint
Yeah.
peeled up.
I'm going to cut into this real light because I want to save that red.
So you just want to go through just the layer
Just
of
the
tape.
material,
right?
yeah. And I work with this stuff so much that I'm very familiar with the cutting pressure it takes just to get through it without pressing through a whole bunch of other stuff.
Back in the day, when guys would do flames on motorcycles, they would use 2 layers of tape, right? And then they'd only cut through the one.
Yeah, or they would, they would put the freehand 1/4-inch tape that actually
Uh-huh.
does the perimeter shape, and
Yeah.
then they'd fill the masking area around between the tape, and they would cut on the surface of the blue tape without cutting through the second layer.
Yeah.
Yeah. They can, and that's you can't get around that. That's still the way you have to kind of do those things there.
So yeah, I guess you don't plot flames. You got to do it by
no,
hand.
You
Yeah.
can't. You could, but it would take way more work than it's
And
really
it
required.
wouldn't be as cool as having a
No.
hand done. Yeah.
Mm-mm. So what I'm doing here is I'm just kind of protecting the red. Just going to put a piece of tape down.
Oh, that's my phone, not yours.
That's all right.
This is Matt. Cool. Okay, that sounds great, man. I'll swing down next week and pick those up if that's okay. Thanks very much.
Then I'll protect the rest of this red here. Get this all taped up.
It's gonna be like opening the greatest Christmas present ever.
Yeah, when you unmask it, it's
On the
kind of
tape. Yeah.
it is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I like doing. I think the whole thing comes together when you start doing all the stressing, all the bullet holes and all that shit. You know, I think that's when it really kind of starts to give some character. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm gonna mix up. I'm gonna put a couple pieces of tape to protect the numbers because I know I'm not gonna be able to keep that stuff from getting hit. And I'm gonna mix up a little blue, and then we're gonna do yellow, and then we're gonna do black. So I'm just kind of dumping this stuff back in. Man, do you have like a little shit cup or anything that I could put some of this wasted paint in?
I will get you
Just a
something.
plastic cup?
Yeah, plastic paper cup, Dixie cup. Plastic cup probably wouldn't be a good idea because the solvents will.
We'll eventually eat it.
Yeah. A coffee cup that's maybe paper. McDonald's cup.
How about that?
How about my coffee cup?
Yeah.
No.
No.
We're done.
Hey, there's a McDonald's or Burger King cup over here. We can do that. Cool. Like it.
Mm-hmm.
Simon says that the impromptu live video is kind of awesome. How long has this been going? 51 minutes?
minutes. And the count keeps going up on it, so I just keep like letting it go.
So anyone that's just joining us, we're here with Mike Learn from MikeLearn.com and all kinds of other stuff that Mike does. Go to MikeLearn.com and check out all the neat shit that he does. He's actually doing a Warbird paint scheme on this BC Rich Eagle style guitar that we've been making. And he's just about to do some of the colors in here. I think he's going to do blue, he said. And I'm in the way, so here comes Mike.
That's right. We'll do a little blue. Do a little yellow. I'm gonna do some black. Black will be the last color we'll do, because I can leave that color in the gun. We'll be doing quite a bit with it throughout the project. And I'm gonna let that dry. Mix up another color. Dude, you might want to open that door up a little bit, Chris.
Yeah, that might not be
A little sticky.
the worst move.
I kind of like it.
Alright. Now I'm going to mix yellow.
So the yellow will go, it goes, the Spitfire emblem is yellow, blue, red.
Yeah. Sometimes there's a white ring around the red.
We might get that on this.
Yeah, we might. But I'm going to take the other airbrush that I'm going to be using. I'm going to mix that with black, and that's going to remain with black in it pretty much throughout the rest of the paint job. And then we'll have one with a lighter color, and for all the rivets and the $79.99
Oh, yeah.
little tricks. What are we doing? Alright. So while that blue is drying, come back over here. And this is a much nicer airbrush than the one I've been throwing the big color down with. So, yeah, it's still tacky. So we'll leave that. And I'm not worried about you trying to get this stuff like completely opaque. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep the thin film from building up along the edge. keep that topography kind of down. And then we can go ahead. Did I just?
No, it's probably, we can unplug all of that stuff. Too.
Oh,
Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Your way. Stand up for just a second, Mike.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So I'm peeling back the layers of this now. I'm going to leave it taped up. I'm not wanting to peel back the teeth. I'm just kind of opening up that red there. Now what we're going to do is do like a shadow where the tongue would be, kind of mouth. And I'm going to do that simply with this.
I think it looks good to go as is.
Yeah, it looks like a psycho clown.
Yeah.
It's
Let's roll with it.
It's that's one of my favorite parts of these things is right now it's almost impossible to
Yeah.
see what's gonna be. It's like, what is that?
Yeah. All right, so that's all we really got to do there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go around the edge of the mouth. Just a little bit. A little drop shadow on the teeth. Let's give a little depth. All right, plug the airbrush so I don't knock it onto the floor and then this broadcast real fast. Now we're gonna go ahead and I got a little special tool just for this. Is that the van or the Jeep?
There's your guitar paint job.
Is that a feather?
Yeah, keeping track of like where you are would
Yeah.
grind me to a screeching halt.
Yeah. Why are the teeth red? Shut up.
So I got this little guy. This thing's awesome here. These are those window scrapers. They sell them Walmart, Ace Hardware. Just to scrape paint off of glass. And these things are great for getting up vinyl when you're working off the surface and you're trying to dig up a corner of vinyl. Razor blade has a tendency to always leave a scratch. This stuff here doesn't.
Is it plastic?
Yeah, it's plastic. The only problem is these things disappear just like razor blades do. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah, you're always looking for that.
I mean, I get 200 of these single-edge blades from my shop all the time, and then I'm always running out. I'm like, where the hell did the 200 go? You know? I don't remember sweeping up 200 of them. They just like disappeared. That and Sharpies, man. Black Sharpies. I'm always having to buy those in bulk. So one thing that you want to do periodically when you're painting this stuff is, depending on if you've gone to lunch break and had pizza, you want to make sure you get all the pizza grease off your hands and stuff, and so you're going to want to degrease from time to time. And I generally just do that at the end, unless, you know, I see something that I missed. Maybe you can see a shine where it's a little greasy. But your hands do emit oil on their own without eating pizza. Kind of feel that graphic still has very little edge there, very little.
Now it looks like one of those sponge monkeys from the Quiznos
Yeah,
commercial.
somebody was saying psycho clown monkey. Sponge monkey. Yeah.
Remember them?
Yeah.
I love those.
They were awesome.
I learned how to play that song.
We love the moon.
I'm gonna put that on. I'm gonna have to bring this over here. Put this back on.
the funny thing is watching Mike do this, and it's like, oh, I could do that. And then it's just like
Yeah.
getting tape to go in the right spot is it's impossible
Well,
sometimes.
it's still, you know, it never changes. I mean, no matter what your skill level is, it's something you always deal with. It's just learning how to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's a part of it too, man. It's just a little shit like that frustrates people when they start doing this. They don't know how to overcome the little hurdles, you know. And then when you're smacked with a big one, you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? But yeah, man, being able to fix your mistakes, dealing with, you know, bumps in the road along the way, it's all part of learning, and we all suffer, even, you know, to this day. I mean, we're all constantly learning, striving to improve processes, and so never ends. The journey never ends.
Mike, do you still have any of those DVDs?
I have a few. I have, like I said, I haven't been printing them off and selling them, so
Yeah.
I've got like some old stock stuff, but I am planning on uploading them and then having them available online.
Oh, cool.
And they've been pirated so many times, people rip me off. I got so sick of sending
Yeah.
out legal letters to
Yeah.
entities overseas,
Oh.
you know, that they don't respond anyway because international patent.
Yeah, they don't give a
Yeah,
toss.
they don't
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was telling people about that Create from Within DVD that
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
I mean, it's really pretty unreal.
That one is available on YouTube right now.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. If you go to my YouTube channel, just search my name on YouTube, say Mike Learn Airbrush, and you'll find it.
So yeah, if you guys want to see something really, really awesome, Mike Learn Create from Within.
Yes.
Well, it's not really a DVD at this point. It's on YouTube, and you can watch it free, right?
Right. Completely free on there, and
That's cool.
it really just it's not only a mechanical breakdown of what you're doing. It's a lot of discussion on, you know, content, and as far as an artist in general.
Yeah.
You know, dealing with values and interaction between line, color, shade, and it's completely working from out of your head with no
And there
references
was.
whatsoever.
I want to say there were no stencils in that. You was just you go.
Yeah, I just went for it. Yeah. Yeah. So this is ready to peel out now. Go ahead and peel out the. So now we can go ahead and peel the whole thing.
Ooh.
How about that?
So that's all the pretty well solid colors.
That's pretty much all the solid colors, except
Okay.
for we're gonna do the kill marks next,
Okay.
and from there we'll start doing all the rivets, bullet holes, detailing, all that stuff. But the primary markings are done.
Okay. Well, it seems like a good time to quit now that we're peeling all the tape off.
Yeah. Let's call it.
Done.
In fact, oh, I should have. Oh, I got black. I need to spray this right now. So, not to panic because I cut another one out. No, I didn't. Now it's time to panic.
Panic.
Let's see if I can recover that part of the eyeball here. I just had it in my hand. I just had it in my hand. There it is. There it is.
That.
There it is. Not to panic. See how crumpled that thing was? And you can still
Oh wow.
pull it apart and kind of use it. So
I'll be a sucker.
son of a bitch. There we go. Yeah. So nothing to worry about. You just take the mask out of there and Put it back on there. We'll get the black. Fire it up. So you'll have to share this link on my
Of course.
Facebook page.
So, Mike, does all your towels in the bathroom have little splotches of paint on it? And your
No.
wife thinks it's hilarious.
No, not at all.
no, she doesn't think it's hilarious at all.
No, she doesn't. She doesn't. And she actually, you know, when the towels reach that point in her life, rather than going to the garbage, they go to Mike's shop.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I can tell you where that brown towel came from. I remember using that towel as a child. That towel is almost as old. Actually, it might be as old as me. That might be a 50-year-old towel.
Wow.
All right, so there we go. Primary colors are down. We'll do the, you know, and I'm gonna leave that up to you, man. You want the swastikas or you want to do the Iron Cross?
Let's go with the Iron Cross. That way we don't have to, that way we don't
Worry
have to
about
explain
it.
anything
Right.
to anybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right, so that's disconnected. I'm not gonna trip over that. All right. Let's do
So what's
that.
the plan?
For
I'm
what?
gonna mix up. I'm gonna. Actually,
You want to just call this one good for now? We'll come back in a
Yeah,
little
let's
bit.
come back in a little bit.
Yeah.
on
Yeah, we'll get
this.
set up and.
Yeah. All right, guys. So
Alright, cool.
we'll be back with more painting with Mike. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Yep.